Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Drunken Tarrasque, where your immortal soul is now cursed in ours. And today I have with me Rachel, and you can guess our topic of today.
And now in stunning HD. Woo!
And me after a cold, so I'm happy. Well, today we have the curse of the Cerberus Hound outside. One moment. And apparently the little Cerberus Hound that I have took its soul and cursed item back. But today...
Well, that's just the downside to stunning HD. You hear everything.
Yes, but ladies and gentlemen, cursed items. It's an item that, well, to be honest, I really don't use that much. And it comes down to so many DMs look at it as a way to punish players. I don't hold that mindset for a cursed item. Mainly because...
You're no fun.
yeah, Rachel doesn't know my style of cursed items. She's only seen the pleasant side of my gift giving. No, for me, it's a foundational thing. When you work with curses, everyone, I do agree, a boon and a negative effect should be with it. But one of the other things that comes with that concept of cursed items, and I just lost my fucking place. But when it comes...
I think what you're trying to say is that you try to have a good side to it and a bad side. Because without there being that incentive to use said item, you're not not as likely to get cursed. So that's...
Well, that's one thing, but
evil. That's evil, Mike.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. When it comes down to cursed items, removing it and having in your world, it's a concept I think is kind of hinted at throughout what we do. It should improve world building and character building. And it's one of the reasons why the concept of removing a curse just by a remove curse spell is not in my repertoire. I treat that as to lessen the effects of a cursed item for one very big reason why. If you have a cursed item or you're cursed and you automatically remove it, it's no longer... Curses don't seem scary or dangerous or something to be careful of. They're just, oh, yeah, you were cursed. Oh, I'm just going to use a quick spell and remove it. It doesn't add to any interaction between characters or the world. And that hurts it a lot.
And I know that you mentioned that you feel like we need to have... that every cursed item needs to have a purpose of some sort. But there's gotta... And I agree. I really do think you gotta go in with the mindset of what was this used for? Like, if you really want it to be really fantastic, if you really want it to be a part of your story, something that carries through, that really helps with the player interaction and just moving the story along, you gotta think about, well, what was this used for? Why was it cursed? Like, what is it protecting? What is its purpose?
Exactly, because for me, here's the biggest concept for me. When it comes to cursed items, I look at it in two camps. And this is something that when you understand cursed items, you look at it as high fantasy and low fantasy. And I'm focusing on high fantasy because almost every world I've run across runs into that vein of high fantasy, where you could have them more common, and they can be an annoyance. And when you reach super powerful items, they can be this terror to deal with that can be a very massive and important story arc to tackle. And without that understanding of where your curses fit in the world, also will essentially influence you how you tell your story. Because if you have a low fantasy and you have a curse, that should be beyond terrifying because magical items are rare. You don't have that much magical powers to deal with. And this curse, if it's very powerful, this usually means something's been stolen from another person that is almost godlike powers of magic that you should be terrified of. But if you're dealing with high fantasy, you could be one of those smartasses that you have a cursed item that just will make you occasionally fumble, or have, in D&D terms, 5th edition, you have disadvantage on talking occasionally at your DM's whims to make a funny moment.
So using that concept, I think that we discussed in the past, which is the concept of magic being sort of this rare thing in your game, that really does make it hit home a little bit more, because then there's less people in the world who can possibly help you
Mm-hmm.
to possibly remove the curse, or help you to get rid of it. Like it's very difficult to then manage all of the problems associated with it.
Mm-hmm. And for me, the mechanical mindset in me goes, the reason why I don't like just a basic remove curse, because then again, it doesn't make the curse as terrifying, and it doesn't properly put a resource strain on your magic users. Because if you have remove curse, you just have to wait a day, or 24 hours, or however long before you're recharging your spells and you've removed a curse. If you have it as it lessens the curse's intensity, you then the players now have to think, do we just lessen the intensity of the pros and cons for the person and continue on, or do we go on a little side quest to remove this curse? And
you know what would be really fun though?
Mm-hmm.
I just had an idea, because this is a common theme, it seems, with these podcasts, is that sometimes while you're talking, I get an idea midway.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be funny though if you had multiple curses on there, where the first one you're gonna think to yourself, "Oh, okay, I've removed said curse."
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Where but that's just it's like an onion of curses. You remove one, and there's one underneath, and maybe even one underneath that, and you'll think to yourself, "I've defeated this curse onion."
Well, when it comes down to
so asserted.
Well, that's the other thing for me. This comes from my own personal experiences with a DM who, because he wanted to, he made me into a vampire, and then lost his mind because he realized if I got turned into a vampire, not only is that he'd either have to remove my character, or I become an ungodly danger to him because my strength, my charisma, my dexterity all jump through the roof. And for me, it was one of those things I tried to negotiate with the DM, and the DM, he just was fighting to, you're going to become a vampire, I don't give a damn, and then he realized it was a bad idea, and instead of talking with the player, he just, oh, I'm killing your character, good luck, new one. This is where I come with the concept of, if you have a cleric in the party, and someone's mutating into a lycanthrope, or any of the monsters are changing, having them expend every day a lesser restoration or a greater restoration to keep the effects of that curse or mutation in check, it already makes the characters have a bonding moment. It also makes that resource management even more intense, going, oh my god, I might need this spell in the future, we need to get rid of this curse from our fellow player. And then, again, opens the floodgates of, depending on what type of curse it is, means all these different characters can engage with people. Your roguish characters can negotiate on the black market in any ways. Your clerics or your wizards can start researching and engaging with other well-known individuals who know these diseases or curses to handle.
And I think another important thing should be to mention, what is the nature of the cursed item? Is it something where once you touch it, you're cursed forever, or you just have to have the cursed item in your possession? So for the sake of argument, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about it has to be in your possession? Or just once you touch it, you're fucked?
Well, that was the other concept. I don't believe in the DMs of, I just put this ring on, immediately I'm cursed, or I do this. I do believe in you should be giving your players hints. Now, I'm not saying you have the devil appear in front of you going, wah-ha-ha-ha-ha, before you touch the sword. But in the sense that if you have a Book of Vile Evil, just by the simple grasping of it, you should not be turning into some monstrous entity. You should be, like something like that, you should say, there seems to be a corroding and corruption of the ground around you. Details are very important here. So these little nuance hints given in amongst it is a warning. And for me, say the Book of Vile Evil. If you crack open this book and you begin reading it, the DM should give these warnings that you get this sensation of this tingling of like demonic essence, or like you're reading something evil, and you're kind of like you're getting chills of like of unearthly things grabbing your hands. Right then there, then you let the player decide. If the player continues on, then they become cursed. And the more powerful the item, in some cases, you should be allowing them to make a couple checks. I don't believe in the simple idea and concept of I touch an item, I instantly become cursed, because it stops players from actually wanting to engage in your world, because if every item you touch can seriously corrupt you or kill you or do damage to you...
Yeah, then you're going to be less likely to want
Yeah.
to investigate things and
And
and use the... You're not going to trust all of the loot. You're not going to trust the loot that you've gotten.
Exactly. And then you again, it's slowing down gameplay in an unhealthy manner, because if you have to engage with this and you get this creeping cold sensation up your spine, your DM explains it like that, then it offers in your mind to go, do I make this choice? Do I take this step forward and see the ramifications of it? Or do I go, okay, we need to put research on this? Again, another story plot and world building possibilities and character building. And I
think the ideal way to illustrate it is sort of like a monkey's paw. Like a monkey's paw in and of itself is not dangerous. It's only dangerous when you start using the wishes on it. You just start using it. Like, and the more you use it, the worse things seem to get. So, are you following me on this?
Yes.
What I'm saying is something like that would be, I think, perfect. Perfect way of illustrating it is that you have to engage with the item. You have to be willing to take on the negative effects of it to feel those effects. You have to be willing to, play to the good side of it, like to get something out of it. It's a trade-off. Sorry, I'm probably not articulating.
That's the thing, is that with cursed items, there's that risk-reward. For me, the more powerful the curse, the more positive effects, but a lot more negative effects. Let's say you have a vain character, a vain player, and this is, again, cursed items are kind of a customizing effect for your game. If you have a vain character, it starts to corrode and corrupt, either age him or give him horns, or anything that player may specifically feel adverse to. Also, my personal favorite one, and this is one that one of my buddies kind of didn't like my idea behind, but it's kind of the basic concept behind it, is that sentient items could be a cursed item in and of itself, and one to be wary of. Because if you have a sword or a shield that gives you hints and advice to deal with a problem that makes this problem simpler, that becomes an addictive hit to say, oh, I'm dealing with a serious problem, and can direct a player into eternal damnation. I would make the joke of, remember, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, Rachel's now trembling because she already knows, like, the things I put in there, like Bob.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But also, that is another thing to think about, is if you don't want to go so serious, you could just make the cursed item be comical. If you really want to, if you just want to have fun with it. So there's all kinds of things that you could do, like you could use, for example, a club that ever so often it's just going to decide to whack you in the face. It'll be really super strong and everything. Well, every so often it's just going to choose to whack you in the face.
Well, to me, a cursed item like that would be every single time you roll a 1, the strike hits you instead at a critical. I can be a bit of a dick, but again, I use those sparingly. And the reason why is that if you have a ton of cursed items in there, again, you'll start bogging down your game. You start pulling out resources that really don't make the game fun and add anything to it. And the reason why I like sentient creatures or sentient items as kind of a cursed item, or could be a cursed item, is very much the personality it can add to it and the direction that if a player wants to go. It also offers the possibility of letting players build their own things, because you can let players build their items and let them be cursed. That's kind of how I see them. Like, you could also encourage players to build cursed items as traps to other entities and creatures and people. Again, I have this larger concept in mind of letting your players do a lot more, but it's again, that engagement between players. I mean players, not just player, but players and DM, where they're all discussing, because when you allow everyone to think on their ideas and work with them, it offers great boons to everyone because this is a game to be played with multiple people. When you do that and everyone's working together, even on a simple idea of like, hey, can I have a sword that just shrinks someone down but lets them do more damage to mess with them? Like,
That actually would be really funny. It'd be like an Ant-Man kind of situation. Be like,
it turns into something funny where this negative can be turned into a positive. And again, as Rachel said, the onion of more curses can be taken into account to really make the whole situation go, holy crap.
Again, if you really wanted to be funny with it and making your cursed onion is actually make it a crystal onion or something like that. And then as you take one curse off, one little part falls off of it or something. One layer falls off and you're like, what just happened? Like the crystal onion. Like I'm really hoping somebody uses that. They're like, what is this? It looks like a crystal onion.
Exactly. And for me, if you want to work your starting early stages of cursed items, I would highly suggest look at Xander's Guide to Everything. They have a lot of small magical items that are kind of meaningless, like the armor always shines or your cloak always billows out behind you, or you have a pipe that blows smoke and can create creatures. Those are the ways I would argue and suggest for early DMs and players to start out with your cursed items to kind of get a footing of how your players deal with things, but also how they want to tackle a situation, because some players don't care about the curses, and in doing so, you might just give them a fun toy to play with and play pranks, because some people just want to do the campaign, and some people want to become terroristic sky pirates.
You're never gonna let that go, are you? Like I know it wasn't even your game. It was painfully linear, Mike. You know I'm not gonna make everyone be terrorists.
Well, that's again. The reason why I tease so much about these concepts is that games like that, your games can go in many different ways. Well, if that's the case, you got to be prepared for all the differences that will arise.
And I also thought it would be really funny, like if you're really wanting to mess with somebody, give them something like give a guy player something that would just be embarrassing to carry around with, but have it have a really great effect. So,
You mean a massive dildo that will stun people, or it looks like phallic objects that you're swinging and cutting people, and it makes ungentlemanly noises when it kills a person?
Or it could be something like a pretty pink fluffy apron.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's the other great thing about cursed items. You can do them just to embarrass your players, not the characters, because it gets funnier.
Or a really girly hat or something with like a dead bird on top or something. So you have to be wearing it for it to work.
Well, that's the thing is, if you notice, Rachel has the imagination for these crazy or sillier ideas, but this is something that many DMs don't suggest. These humorous items or silly items are a good thing in your games, no matter how serious you go, because these curses, you're going to be there to laugh about them years later. And the thing is, these games are meant to be memorable. Just realize the level of what you push into your players in DMs and items, they can bite you in the butt. And again, that's why I say start small, work your way up bit by bit, stage by stage, step by step, and don't feel bad if you made an item that kind of just backfired, because your players can find either interesting ways to solve the solution or use these items and mix and match. Don't worry about whatever the rules say, because many of these rules don't actually really function in the right way that they're supposed to, so have fun with your curses. Be wary of your immortal soul when you come to these cursed items, because whatever deals you make with the devil, your smiling DM is what to be feared.
I feel like we need to have a larger conversation about homebrewing different things like magical items or monsters and stuff like that. I really think that would probably
Note, everyone, Rachel's trying to get ahead of time knowledge of my campaign so she doesn't die. I see how it is.
That is not how it's gonna... No, I just want I want an excuse to come up with ridiculous monsters like an evil Christmas tree. Yeah, so it's so if you're having a Christmas campaign or something, and suddenly the trees start coming to life and they start attacking you, or it's a Christmas tree, but it's the kite eating tree and Charlie Brown, but only it'll eat you. It has a thirst for flesh.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cursed item creator, Rachel. Thank you for joining us. Please tell us what you think. Tweet us on Twitter. Put us on any other of the social medias.
Wait, I gotta make sure they know this. At a Drunk Tarrasque on Twitter.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Please join us again. We'll do more, and hopefully my voice will hold out so I can DM and have games for you guys. Thank you and good night.
Bye.